What is the perfect job? Now, one of the things I think is very amazing when my own personal story, right, is I had one thought, and being extremely, extremely young, I lived in a very, very, very poor family. In fact, not only did I get taken away from my parents, but also our house that we lived in, it was so run down, it got condemned, and we got kicked out of it. And yeah, just not good stuff. So I always remember asking. I always remember asking, people that I know, hey, you know, um, Jimmy's got a new bike or whatever, and they were going like, listen, do you think money grows on trees? Don't you think it's interesting that they never told us where it grew? But anyway, so it's different for each and every person. Isn't that amazing? Do you realize how many different things people do that's called a job? And so, when you throw some stuff out there, I went on AI and searched into AI, and I said, hey, listen, what are I but people put what would be the perfect job? Now, number one is compensation and benefits. See, I think it's very, very interesting that, you know, why would people actually get a job to make money? See, money doesn't buy happiness. Isn't that what everybody tells you? Money doesn't buy happiness. So why would it be when you first look for a job, you say, how much does it pay? What are my benefits? Because if you like these other criterias that are going down here, I bet you if the pay wasn't good enough, that it wouldn't make a difference if it had the rest of these things, which is 9 other things, right? And so think about that for a second, because the reason that we think about income and compensation and benefits is because if there's not certain benefits, then we need more pay. Okay. So I always found that really, really interesting. People go job to job. So again, when I was young, I remember this statement, and that statement was this: you can't get a job. You're too young to be employed. See, now for a majority of the people on the planet, they would go, okay, I give up. Everybody says that you can't do it. And so that wasn't me. I went, oh, really? So what can I do? What can I do to earn income so I can get a new bike? And people are like, hey, it's funny when you ask people, what would you do right now if you couldn't get a job? And they'd go, you can mow lawns, you can shovel snow, you could do handyman jobs, you could do a garage sale, you could find things that people don't want, put it in that garage sale, or take it to a pawn shop. You could look at a lot of things and do research and sell those things on, Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, or Craigslist, or any of that stuff. See, there's a lot of ways, even on the internet, to make income now without getting a job. I'll talk about that in a second. But here's the thought, right? We want job security. Again, I love what AI said. It says people preferences for the perfect job can vary widely. Yeah, no doubt. But there are several common factors that many tend to value highly in searching for that idea perfect job. Now, I would like to say this up front. You know what? I ask people all the time what they want. Tell me what you want, and I can show you how to get it. And the majority of the people don't know what they want. So that's probably why a lot of people are complacent or conformist, or they just, some people call them sheeple. They really are not aware that there's anything out there. So compensation and benefits, job security. Hey, when I was young and all of a sudden I became old enough to get a job, um, yeah, job security. Does it really exist? I don't know. There used to be a time where, you work for 40 years for 40 hours a week and retire on 40% of your pay. I know it's a lot less now, but it's like get to go watch, right? And so job security. By the way, open forum. If you guys want to say in here what would be, your perfect job, work life balance. See, don't you find it interesting that other countries, actually limit the amount of time that you can work? And now there's even laws happening in California that, once the person's off the clock, the job can't continue to ask you, where are you? Because of cell phones and email now. It's like, 24 hours a day, they're asking you for stuff. So there's not only people that work hard and the job takes a lot of their stuff, but you got the commute time. But also, you know, is there flexible hours? Paid time off? Uh, yeah, you know, remote work. Can you work at home if you could accomplish the job? And another one is career growth opportunities. So for the people out there, I'm not making fun of you. There's a lot of people out there that wouldn't even want to say that they have a job. They would say, well, what is my career? What am I currently doing for a career? I believe it or not, when I was young, I was a landscape engineer. See, that's a very interesting title for someone that mows your lawn and weed whacks. I'm a waste management engineer. Hey, I'm a garbage person, right? I'm a garbage man. So it's really, really interesting how we as human beings will use words. So when people are not really happy with their job, do you notice they want a promotion and increase their title? I always laugh this, man, when people used to tell me what they used to do. The more words they added into their title, the more significance they are. You know what I mean? Well, I'm the global expansion leader, for whatever, right? I'm just sort of giggling, but it's true. Growth, career growth opportunities. So when you're looking for a job, how many of you think would like to find a job where you knew, that there was a ability to be able to work within the same company and get promoted within, right? So you could work your way up and get promoted. And, Craig and Matthew and I were talking yesterday. I don't know if you guys seen the earthquake that Matt and Craig experienced. Matt had a stabilizing camera, but Craig didn't. But check out that podcast. It was really, really amazing. Um, but one of the things that we're talking about is that, can you get promoted up within the same company, right? And all of a sudden you get to that one promotion that you want, and one of the people that own the company or within the family, one of their children graduate from college, and now this person gets the job not because of their experience or their ability to be able to do the job effectiveness, is because they got the right last name. So I don't know if any of you have ever been passed up for a promotion, or it went to somebody that wasn't as qualified as you. But excuse me, we all want to be in a position where we could consistently go up. You know what I mean? Maybe more benefits, maybe get paid more, right? Okay, so that's finding that within it. A lot of companies, I don't know if they still do this. I know they do. You just got to find the right ones. Some companies will actually pay you and train you for a new promotion. That's really, really, really cool. A lot of people are going to look at company culture and company values. One of the things that I find amazing is that there's this website out there called 16 Personalities. There's a 1 and a 6, and then personalities. And I'm sure that you've always wondered this. You can take the test for free. When I first heard about different personality traits, immediately I thought, wow, that's how some people can do some jobs. And I'm never going to do that job. Most of the jobs that I felt that I didn't want were jobs that I just felt like I wasn't enough, that I wasn't educated enough, that I didn't, me discovered late in life that I'm dyslexic. They couldn't figure that out in school, in my school. I don't think that people even knew that it existed, but I was in a special class with special teachers. And I laugh about that today because I knew I was special, and they told me really early in life that I was special. And so learning disabilities. So it's pretty obvious to me that I wasn't going to go into, English, or I wasn't going to go into, you know, geez, I don't even know anything that even fits in that category. Editor or any kind of thing like that. See, it's funny. I knew I didn't want that, or I felt I wasn't enough or wouldn't be good at that. Going back to what you want, interesting, right? I'm sure that none of you watching this video have ever felt like you were doing stuff that didn't fulfill you, that you didn't want, right? Okay. So um, the company culture and value, when I realized that there was 15 other personality traits that thought different. So, a person that could be good at English or good at math or good at science or good at, an accountant versus a lawyer versus a doctor. So there was some things that in my mind, I sort of went, wow, there's those are just things that I'm not going to pursue because I felt that I wouldn't be good at it or I couldn't teach it. So, but there's some people that get involved in companies for very, very different ways. And again, I want to drive home. Don't you think this is interesting that we were never ever taught how to do a personality test, find out what we were good at, and just continue to get good at things that we are already better than others at? See, you may or may not believe this, but I believe every one of you that are watching this video is gifted. And when you find your gift, you'll immediately realize that you're better at that than the majority of people. All right. So just a thought. No, we usually get in the box in education, and then we do that. So company culture, the individuals of the company, what are their morals and ethics and stuff. I know people that have quit jobs because of their boss, because of other coworkers. So having that culture, is very unique. The video that we did yesterday in the podcast, and I know that Craig posted some other things in there. Um, Unrealistic expectations on what we think that the job should do for us, right? Another one is meaningful work. Many individuals seek roles to provide a sense of purpose and contribution, and that affects the society in a positive way. Um, when I learned about personality traits, there are some people that are just givers, 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 givers. And, might fit good for nurses, might fit good for, counseling and therapy. They really have an above average sort of core value of giving. And then we also know there's people out there that are really good at taking. Geez, I don't know what would be a good job. I think some of you know right away some jobs that would probably be considered, people that are just takers and not real givers, right? But you realize you probably already there's bad doctors, there's bad lawyers, there's good doctors, there's good lawyers, right? The other one is challenging work. Now, this is something that a lot of people really, in my opinion, don't get, because a lot of people think that, that happiness is achieving accomplishments, where really fulfillment and joy and peace is in the process. So you'll always see these people that will constantly build a company, then they'll build another one, then they'll build another one, then they'll build another one. And the reason why is they need challenge in their life. They're constantly reinventing themselves and finding different challenges in life. And so, hey, I already got the t-shirt, checking off on that. When I think of artist, right? I think of the four awards. People post them in here, but it's like, hey, I got a Grammy. Well, EGOT, thank you. Um, I got an Emmy. So then, what if I get an Oscar? Then I would like to get a Tony, right? You guys understanding what I'm saying? And so, people that it's funny. My wife and I watched this documentary on Bon Jovi. It was amazing. You got to watch it. But the guy that was the keyboard person, right? Um, One of his goals was to do a play, and so doing a play is radically different than being in a band, right? So we're constantly, me personally, I love challenges. And here's what makes it really challenging for me is that the world is changing. I don't know if you're aware of this. So, but that's one constant thing that consistently happens in life is change. And so, some of these things we talked about, job security, getting benefits, compensation, challenging. There's going to be two groups of people. One that embrace change and they do everything to be able to be the change within whatever industry or thing that they love to do. And then there's other people that complain about change and things usually don't go well for them. It's just fact. I probably fit in that category quite a bit sometimes. Then the other thing is there's some people that are just, oh my God, they just love recognition, praise and recognition, praise, recognition. And it's funny. I was talking in a video that we did, the podcast. I've quit companies making millions of dollars a year because of unrealistic expectations. So I'm a person, probably because of my upbringing, really, really love praise and recognition. I just really, really love it. And so when people don't give it to me, then that's unrealistic expectations. I will find something wrong with them. I will find something wrong. And then I spend all my time focusing on not the gratitude or appreciation of what I'm doing. Now I find everything wrong with it. I think we do that in relationships as well. So, working in an environment where you feel like you're valued, recognized, very, very, very important. Here's another one: location and commute, right? So, when COVID hit us, it really shook a lot of people, of course. But one of the things is people are realizing, wow, I need to find a way to make income while I'm stuck in my home. Now, some people didn't do it and some people did do it, right? So there was a lot of YouTube channels, a lot of TikTok channels, a lot of social media channels that people started building, and there became a lot of opportunities out there with affiliate marketing and everything, just because people were like, I don't want to go to an office anymore. I don't want to have a commute. I lived in LA for quite a few years, back and forth. And, LA, and I'm sure other cities, you don't tell people how many miles something is away. Like, oh my God, you and Terry live in Orange County. Yeah. Well, is it Disney World, Disneyland in Orange County? It is. Um, how many miles is it from your home? It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on drive time. No, I ask you how many miles? 25 miles. It doesn't take an hour and a half to drive 25 miles. Now, When I had a job, I remember people. There was this guy. His name was David Nguyen, a Vietnamese guy. Just love him, man. I should reach out, try to find him. Just a great guy. I was a mechanic with him, and every time I got to work on my motorcycle, because I took my motorcycle so I could get to work and back home faster, because California allows you to go between cars, different time for sure. Um, so, but when I would get to work, I would see him sleeping in his car. And I was like, dude, why do you sleep in your car? Well, if I get up earlier and take off before traffic starts, then I can have a relaxing commute. And then I just come here and I sleep. And I go, so when you go home, yeah, I go back out my car and spend some, that's one of the first places that I think that I heard anything about personal development. And yeah, this guy had so many things going. It was amazing. So he would wait, sleep in his car, or do stuff in his car until traffic disappeared, at 7:30, and then commute. But if he commuted during traffic, rush hour, it was like a 2.5 hour commute. I believe he lived out in Palmdale, Lancaster, and we were all the way in Glendale. So crazy, crazy, crazy. So location, you always hear people, I want to live close to my work. Now there's virtually hundreds of millions of square foot offices in major cities that are no longer being used because people don't want to go back to an office location. And some people do. Another one is autonomy. The ability to work independently to make decisions can also be a significant factor. Many people appreciate jobs where they have the control over their work and the methods that they use. All right. And so these are just 10 things that we're just throwing out there. And it's like a lot of people I know, including me, went from job to job to job. And now that I've said all that, let me share something with you again. You're never going to get what you want in life if you don't take the time to write down what you want. I tell people, what is your perfect day? Now, here's where people really get confused. Now, a lot of you may or may not know this. You can go to roberthollis.com/free and get my best-selling book, How is that working? Rat Race to Freedom. But this is just basically my rags to riches story. So, I did what I was told, get an education, go get a good job, and then really master in on that deal. And so I built race cars. I worked on, race cars teams. And that's what I did until I got hurt. So when I got hurt and I messed up my knee, hyperextended my knee, now just because of a physical situation, I no longer can do my job. Do you guys know people like this? They get hurt, or maybe even if they, serve in a military or something else, and they had, unfortunately, situations where their brain doesn't function the way it used to. Uh, Now all of a sudden it really changes what you're going to do. So I just had a doctor tell me, hey, listen, you know what? You will no longer be a mechanic. And I look back now and I know for a fact that he was wrong, but he's a doctor with a white coat. And so I thought he was telling the truth. And I'm going like, that's my whole identity. That's the only thing that I know. And even though it was 27 when this happened, maybe 26, all of a sudden I realized that everything that I knew, everything that I was, all my accolations, my income, everything came from that one thing. And so one of the mentors that I worked with, Roger Penske at that time, just went, so now what are you going to do? He gave me a book, The Science of Getting Rich. And he's like, what are you going to do now? And I went, I don't know. I don't know. And he goes, I said, I'd like to go back and be a mechanic. He goes, well, what was your dream? What do you want? I said, I wanted to be a crew chief. I wanted to work my way up to work being a crew chief. It'd be the same as a coach of a professional sporting deal. Coaches, we got the NBA playoffs right now. They all have head coaches, right? And so I said I would want to be a crew chief. And he said, listen, he said, have you ever, do you know of any chiefs? I said, I do. And he goes, have you ever asked them out? Maybe tell them you'd like to buy them a cup of coffee or a beer or whatever. And why don't you go have a conversation with 10, do your research, 10 people that are crew chiefs, and ask them if they could do it all over again. Would they do that? And I took his challenge and I did that. And 10 out of 10 said no. I would have never pursued this. So can you see how fast that shocked my belief system, my process, everything? The imagination that I created was one of money, one was of fame. Everyone would know who I was, but our imaginations usually is always about how incredible this job would be or this position would be. And we made it all up. Is there any one of you that did like me when I imagined getting my first job? Oh my God, I was jacked up. I got there early. In fact, the day before, I figured out the route because I'm not going to be late. And I get there and I don't care about breaks. I only take a half-hour lunch. I work late. I did everything because I was told, get an education, get a job. And then if you work harder than anybody else, then you'll beat everybody else up this corporate ladder. No one ever told me that maybe my ladder might be on the wrong building. So I kept not getting raises. I kept, even though I worked hard, the unrealistic expectations that I had for that job never came. So what did I do? Some of you will really understand this one. What did I do? Well, I go, this is the wrong owner, the wrong dealership, the wrong service writer. I started finding all the things that I disliked about that. Instead of being gracious, instead of being gratitude, instead of appreciation. And I said, screw this. If they're not going to give me a raise, I'm just going to find another job. And I went from job to job to job to job to job. And I remember one time someone asking me, that doesn't look good on your resume. I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, what, every 6 months, 8 months, you go get a new job? And I said, yeah, because the job that I have, they don't see any value in me anymore. And they're not giving me promotion and raises. What a concept, right? I didn't have a thought that maybe every job that I had prior to that was my inability to have gratitude and appreciation for that. But then there was something natural in me too that talks about challenging, having something meaningful, growth opportunities. We talked about all these, right? And so people would find out about me and they would offer me a job. And so when they gave me more benefits or more, money, income, I would go back being gracious to the people that hired me and said, hey, Hollywood Toyota, El Monte Toyota, Hamer Toyota, all these dealerships want to pay me more money. And they usually would get so offended that they would go, well, you could just take your toolbox and just go right now. I always thought that was weird. Every one of them did it because they were told that if someone gave their 2 weeks notice, that they wouldn't be, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not committed to doing the job correctly. And so you're working on people's automobiles. So if you're not doing the job correctly, someone could get injured or killed and make the dealership responsible. Or a lot of employees, when they put in their 2 week notice, might start taking things. I was not either one of these because I had pride in who I was and what I did. But they have seen that happen enough where they just went, no, you can pack your toolbox, you can leave today. And so I always told people that I got my next job because basically people were offering me a job. I wasn't quitting the job. I was just asking them if they would match what the other people did. And so that's my job to job to job, right? And then when I get hurt and I asked, 10 people that are crew chiefs, and they went, no, never. And I'm like, I was just so dumbfounded. I was like, why? And they go, well, of coaches that work for basketball teams or baseball teams. What happens to the coaches if the team has a year after year bad season? They fire them. He goes, if you were a professional coach for an NBA team, National Basketball Association, and you get fired from your job and everyone knew who you were, where do you work now? I never thought about that. He goes, and you're the person. Everyone blames the coach. Wow. And I'm always away from my family. There's every weekend there's a race someplace else, and I'm not with my family. So it doesn't pay enough to have all those sacrifices. So right then, me talking to 10 people of the ultimate position that I would like to have. Did you ever think about it? If you have a job, does any of these 10, did you imagine a job like I did, and then you imagine promotions, and you imagine benefits, and then you imagine that the income will get to a place where you can, you know, buy a house that your the people that you love to live in, and a safe area? Do you have reliable cars? Do you go on vacation? Do you have enough for charity? Are you getting to do what you love to do with the people that you love the most? See, most people, when you ask them, based on a vacation, right, is most people will say, what are you doing for vacation? Well, one, most people say, I'm not taking any time off. And then when they do have time off, they go, well, this is a great time to do spree cleaning, maybe, sand and scrape and repaint my house. And it's like, that's a vacation. I just want to relax. Um, Usually two things are missing when you hear that: money and time. Money and time. And we started out talking about this, that if right now you went to your job and they told you, well, things are rough, economy's rough, our company didn't do what we needed to last quarter. And so if you want to keep your job, you're going to have to take a pay cut, or we're going to have to lay you off. Really interesting thoughts, right? And so most people never ever think about that, what they want and how to be able to do that. So getting back to my mentor giving me the science of getting rich, and I went through that. And we not only have that on audio, I know Craig's the kind of person that would put that up there, but we also have the mastermind, of us going through the science of getting rich. I love giving away such a valuable thing. So then you don't know that you don't know. That's ignorance. It's not a bad word. All right. It's you don't know that you don't know. And so my mentor said to me, Robert, he said, so when your knee gets okay, what are you going to do? I'm going to go get a job. He goes, why? I'll never forget this. And I was going, why? Well, of course. Yeah, you need money for rent. You need money for car payments, insurance on the house and the car. You need food. You need utilities. There's a lot of things that you need. You need money. And he said, who told you that the only way to make money is by getting a job? Everybody? Everybody. My friends had jobs. My family had jobs. The teachers that worked at the school that taught me, they had jobs. People at church, they have jobs. Everybody has a job. No, Robert, not everybody has a job. And I go, okay, okay. I know there's people that own companies, and everyone that has a job works for one of those companies. But man, yeah, you got to be smart to be a business owner. You got to be smart. You got to have money to make money. Um, you got to have a lot of education. You got to work super, super, super hard. And he's going, who told you all that stuff? What if those things weren't true? I'm going, what? He goes, what if everything that you believe, what if what you know that you know that you know that you know that you would bet your life on, that you would bet money on? What if the things that you know are not true? When would you want to know? And I was like, damn. So then he just started sharing things with me. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, your mind's like a parachute. It only opens. It only opens. That's the only time it works is when it opens. That's your mind. And so he started telling me, well, listen, this guy's doing this and I do this and you know what I do. And he's going, if you want to make money, here's underlying this. I want you to think about this question. If you want to make money, then why don't you find people that know how to make a lot of money? See, because I was always told, top 5% of the people in the world, I mean, United States, make $250,000. And all those jobs are for, smart people, people that know people. So you got to know someone, right? Aren't that, well, I don't know anybody, so, we make up all these lies from opinions from others, and we believe in these beliefs that we can't make an abundance of money. We can't make over the average of 54,000 a household. That's, hey, I work at this kind of job. I'm a mechanic. The average mechanic makes this amount of money in this location, working for this manufacturer. So we always heard of this saying, but I haven't heard it much. But every one of us seem like when we're in that kind of making money, the perfect job, that there's this ceiling, this glass ceiling, where the only way that you can make more, and I love this, Jim Rohn used to say this all the time, but Earl Schoaf would say, well, listen, people go, I don't make enough money. I live paycheck to paycheck. Um, I don't know how to do anything else. And Earl Schoaf, Jim Rohn's mentor, would say, wait a minute, wait a minute. Are there's people that work for the same company that you do, that the owners of that company are paying more money to? Yeah. Why? Why? That's a great question. I don't know. Because they're more valuable. What? They're more valuable. The reason that people get paid more than you for doing the same job is because they are more valuable. They worked on their mindset, their attitude, being grateful. You guys see people, man. There's people that go the extra mile. They always go the extra mile. And then everyone gets pissed off because they get the promotions. Then there's people that do just as little as possible to keep their job, and they don't know why nothing grows for them. Well, the company already figured out that you'll work for peanuts, why pay you more? Sad, huh? So if you become more valuable, then you could get ranks, promotions in your company, or what you do is you find a same position or a different position with another company. So a majority of people won't do anything that I just shared. You know, uh, I was in a position where someone opened up my eyes of going, wow, J. Paul Getty, I brought this up in other videos. J. Paul Getty said, man, life is simple. It's simple. You know why you can make as much as you want and have as much freedom as you want is because no one else believes it. No one else is trying. It's so easy in the world to become above average because you can learn a few skills that make you more valuable. Hello? Hello? And then there's this larger group of people, 95% of the people are like, that's bullshit. Not interested. I've heard of that stuff. It doesn't work. So all my mentor did to me is made me imagine a way that I could make more money and I would have more freedom. And I went, I'm going to try that. I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to try that. And it worked. So 37 years ago, I was taught to earn income, have freedom, and do what I want when I want. And I've been teaching people that forever. So while you're looking for your perfect job, maybe what you should do is learn some ways to make money in the world that you can do on your side. I think people call it a side hustle. So what if it's true that people make millions of dollars a year and you might not need that? But is it true that people make a full-time income on YouTube? Is it true that people make a full-time income on other social medias? Is it true that there's people out there that earn a full-time income on social media and never show their face or never hear their voice? See, the thing that I'm sharing with you is a thing called imagination. And if you use your imagination to actually figure out the thing that you want to do, that you're gifted at, that you would do for no money, then if you learn to market that, now you can have money and freedom. But if you don't believe it, again, one of Craig's favorite quotes is by Henry Ford, a person that couldn't read or write. And all he said was, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So my question for you is there a perfect job? And if there isn't a perfect job that has all these 10, what do you want in a perfect job? Because if you really wrote down your perfect day and designed your life, I think that you're going to find out immediately that a job can't get you there. Now, does that mean that jobs are bad? No. Oh my God. I want to personally tell you how grateful and appreciative I am for people that just want to do a job. I do not want to cook my own food when I go to a restaurant. I don't want to walk in there and get the food out of the kitchen. I don't want to randomly seat myself. There's a lot of things that people do. I don't want to do my taxes. I don't want to uh, form corporations. I don't want to do bookkeeping. There's so many things in the world that I not only don't want to do, I wouldn't be good at. So this video is just for people that are like, wow, what if you got that imagination going a little bit? You're going, what if? What if there was something better that I'm doing? Where people usually mess up is the thing they choose, they expect to be perfect. So if there's no perfect people, there's no perfect job, there's probably not a perfect opportunity. So I can show you how to imagine again, and I can share with you because I know what's holding you back. So we have the inner circle that we do tonight. That's always on Thursday nights at what is that, 6 Eastern time, 3 Pacific. We're doing that tonight. And then on Sundays, we do the Imaginator. We have Become an Imaginator, use your imagination like when you were younger to create the things that you want in your life. And then, we do an Ask Me Anything on Saturday. Uh, Come on, I'm on Zoom Live. You ask me any question about anything. If you're not the kind of person that would be bold enough to ask me that question, please send me an email at roberthollis.com. Ask the question. I do a video live almost every day at 12. If my mic works, if it doesn't, it's at 12:05. But technology, messes up all the time, but I'll figure out how to do it. And just think outside the box. Just what if there's people out there that know how to have freedom, have an incredible lifestyle, make an above average income so you're not in despair, thinking all day, every day about how am I going to make more money? How am I going to pay my bills? I don't think that you're created. Some of you were not created to work a job. But if you don't know that you don't know, then you're just going to continue to do the same thing. That's what Albert Einstein said was the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting it to get better. So I love and appreciate you. Thanks for watching the video. Do me a huge favor, subscribe and click on that little bell so you get notifications of all those videos. What else would I know that you can do this. If no one ever gave you permission to succeed in life, you can learn to do anything that you set your mind to, things that you want. It is true when you hang around people that know how to do it. And so I give you permission to be happy and fulfilled. And I know you can do it. I believe in you. So send this video to people that you think have learned hopelessness or think that there's not another way. They can't prove it to me. I can prove it to them. I have the evidence over 37 years that not only does this work for me, but it's worked for millions and millions of people. So I love and appreciate you. Again, if you feel like you're the kind of person that still wants to get that perfect job, maybe you can find people that don't believe that it exists, and you can share this video with them. So we'll see you on the next video. See the Inner Circle people tonight, and bye for now, and God bless. Oh, Bill Shoemaker, thank you very much for the donation. The children are going to love it. That's Health and Aiders. That's Bill Shoemaker. Thank you very much. I love and appreciate you. Bye for now.